All right, just a quick note about Donald Trump's tariffs, first of all. This is a show for classical liberals, libertarians and conservatives, and tariffs are, by their very nature, anti-liberal economics. So they're not a tool that classical liberals like to see used that often. However, the fear-mongering and the panic in the Aussie media about these tariffs, I mean, it's like the world's caving in, the stock markets are crashing. It reflects, I think, a pretty poor understanding of economics among our journalistic class. Tariffs are not in and of themselves bad if they're applied for the right reasons. The simple orange man bad reactions on social media and Trump is dumb stuff is quite tedious and boring, and it just doesn't wash. Trump has been thinking about the fairness of trade on Americans and American taxpayers and thinking about tariffs since he was a young man.
And yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
Now, Trump's current trade policy reflects a mix of political strategy, national security strategy, economic nationalism, and a deal-making approach and mindset that we all should know about, be quite familiar with by now. This is his mode of operation, his modus operandi. It's not a conventional textbook economic approach. If people want to criticize it on social media, fine, go right ahead. I just wish they'd consider all the factors and debate sensibly. Tariffs are not always a bad idea. They're a tax levied by government. And yes, most of that tax is paid at home by the end customer country. But it does put price pressure on the seller of the goods too. So the foreign side will end up paying a little bit of that tax. Now, Trump has got to raise revenue somehow. He wants to bring income taxes down, he wants to get the debt down, and he wants to stimulate the economy. So the first step is to get the cost of government down. Stop the waste, right? So you have Doge. You get Elon Musk in to clean up all the waste in government. Step two, change the taxation system to shift the burden from the people to where you want it to go. And use tax to incentivize things that you want, like local production and security and national sovereignty. Now, there will be an economic efficiency cost, of course. Okay, free trade's always better and more efficient. But sometimes there are other things more important than efficiency. American author and former Democrat, I repeat, former Democrat, and self-described MAGA lefty, Bacha Unga Sargon is her name. She put the case for tariffs very clearly on Piers Morgan's show late this week.
What I find so frustrating about the conversation around tariffs is that we all agree on the problem. We all agree that the deindustrialization of America led to the downward mobility of the American working class, deaths of despair, people working multiple jobs and not being able to afford the American dream. We all agree that it is deeply unfair for the American middle class to be bearing the burden of unfair tariffs from other countries. We all agree that it is great for the president to have leverage in order to demand reasonable things, like that countries stop allowing fentanyl to murder 100,000 Americans every year, and that Mexico do its part to police its own border. And yet when somebody has the courage to show up and say to Wall Street, screw you, I am waging war. I am waging class warfare on behalf of the American working class. And you elites in Wall Street, you do what you need to do because I'm not going to stop fighting for the American working class. Suddenly, everybody is sitting around going, oh no, the stock market. Yeah, the stock market looks like that because the rich are punishing Trump for siding with the neglected and humiliated American working class over them. We have already seen these tariffs work, Pierce. The number of people crossing the southern border is at 0. Fentanyl is at record lows for the last 10 years. We have already seen $1.2 trillion in manufacturing invested in this country since January 21st. So they have already worked. Now, how long is Wall Street going to keep trying to punish this president for standing the American working class? I don't know, but I can tell you that the view from the street is people cannot believe that there is a president who is working for them, who is putting them first and telling Wall Street to go screw itself. Wall Street, which picked the Democrats for the last 3 election cycles in a row. That's what the real story is here.
That was American author and former Democrat Bacha Ungar Sargon on the Piers Morgan show this week. The other side doesn't get more than $1 billion of taxpayers' money to bring you news from a centre-right perspective like the ABC does to bring you news from a left-wing perspective. In fact, we don't get a red cent from the government. We need voluntary donors and supporters like you to keep going and growing. And we hate asking for charity, so we've done a deal with what we think is the world's best VPN, virtual private network service. It'll keep you and your family truly safe without slowing down your internet speeds, and you can watch Netflix or other streaming services using your regular accounts with them as if you're viewing from any country in the world. And you can sign up for less than $3 a month and get a whopping 83% off the normal price. Just go to piavpn.com/otherside to sign up and get more info. That's piavpn.com/otherside. That was a segment from a recent episode of our fortnightly news commentary show, The Other Side, with me, Damien Curry. If you liked it, support us. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube right now so you don't miss a thing. It's totally free. Just click that subscribe button and the little bell. And check out our Other Side Unplugged show too, and join our mission to actually do something and change Aussie media for the better at othersidetv.com.au. That's othersidetv.com.au. Check it out now.